The Community Foundation of Marquette County held its annual celebration tonight. The foundation celebrated 35 years and handed out Catalyst Awards. TV6 senior reporter Jerry Tudor was there, and he shares what impact the organization has had in the community.
Hundreds filled the grand ballrooms at the Northern Center for the Community Foundation of Marquette County's annual celebration this evening. The event is a chance to recognize businesses, organizations, and people who build the community through volunteering or philanthropy and inspire others to do the same.
And those are all individuals or entities in the community that make a huge impact through their volunteerism, through their corporate engagement in the community, through the gift of time, treasure, and talent.
This year, Catalyst Awards were presented to Eagle Mine and the Superior Watershed Partnership. Individual awards went to Aliana Grahowski and Don Morand. Jerry Maynard's widow, Susan, received a Catalyst on behalf of her late husband.
When you think about it, it really is about the individuals that make a difference, that volunteer, that support our nonprofits through donations, that think about the sustainability of those programs and nonprofits, so it all adds up.
The Community Foundation is also celebrating 35 years of giving back in Marquette County. Eppensteiner says over the years, they've awarded nearly $13 million in grants and scholarships in the community.
Everybody who has volunteered, who has worked, has been a trustee or a donor, can take pride in this. I take pride in it to see it develop even better than I ever expected.
In 2022 alone, the foundation granted more than $1.2 million in aid to local nonprofits and distributed more than $130,000 in scholarships to 64 college-bound seniors in Marquette County. Jerry Tudor, TV6 News, Marquette.